Welcome to the Nightcap. It's your girl, Carolina Sanchez. And is beauty in the eye of the beholder? Or is it what's happening on social media? Like, we just keep scrolling and everybody looks good because of them filters. So how do we achieve that? And do we want to? I'm gonna dive into that, but first I need to dive into a drink. And my guy, Jay Sleep, is here.
What's going on?
Ooh, you're the people's bartender for a reason. What is this?
This is actually called the Nightcap.
Is this special for the show?
Of course it is.
Oh, you're gonna have to show me how to make this.
Most definitely.
But first, I've got some people on the couch ready to discuss what beauty is in the eye of which beholder. All right, let's get into it.
Yeah, what's up for a nightcap? Chill, you know, kick back.
All right, let's dive into it with my friends. We have Sean Wells in the building.
Yeah.
We have the beautiful Paige Crutcher, who is next to quite a comedian, so she can't stop laughing. We got Patrick Eady. All right, before we dive in, I have a TikTok of a face analysis from over the years, so let's check that out.
Have you ever looked at an old yearbook from the 1950s and wondered why teenagers or high schoolers look so much older than they do today? There are multiple theories for why this is the case, but the one that makes the most intuitive sense, at least to me, is presented in Contemporary Orthodontics by Prophet and colleagues using what's known as the functional matrix hypothesis. In simple terms, this theory states that the development of the face is dependent on the forces that you put on it. For the upper and lower jaw, which is what we really care about for getting an attractive or a handsome face, the tongue or other forces can push it downwards and outwards, and then new bone comes to fill it in its place. In this example, this little girl had a very severe sinus infection, so she would always be breathing through her mouth, and she wouldn't keep it closed long enough for the mandible or the lower jaw to develop properly. Now, your case is probably not as bad as this, but with 70% of the Western world having some kind of malocclusion or recession much like this, it's a very good explanation for why faces are becoming less and less attractive as time goes on, and much of it has to do with the modern lifestyle.
Okay, so what do we think?
I think a lot of that has to do with the modern diet, the modern kind of things. There's a study that said that men have like 50% less testosterone than they did like maybe in the 50s and 60s.
Wow.
And that kind of, I think that goes in something with the a strong jawline is also indicative of high testosterone, healthy levels. The levels, the things that we do, like what do most like teenagers do today? Like they sit at home, they eat a lot of junk food, playing video games and stuff like that. You kind of see that in the face. You kind of have like a pudgy kind of face, like a strong jawline, something like that, are indicative of like a stronger lifestyle. Healthier levels of like testosterone, things like that. I think even that's what that video was kind of talking about, is like basically we're kind of getting neutered by the modern age of comfort and things like that, and it's kind of showing in our faces. It's showing in our faces. Yeah. That's true. Well, there's a study that says every person, if you took their blood, they have almost a debit card's worth of microplastics in their bloodstream.
Wow. No, yes, I did see that maybe last year.
Yeah, but like it just basically it affects with everything, your facial structure, muscle density, things like that.
I guess for me it was the key word of him, like, we're not as attractive anymore. Would you guys agree with that?
From that video, before he said that, I thought he was going to say we're more
The opposite.
attractive
We're
now,
more attractive
but
now.
because of plastic surgery and this and that, like modifications that can be done to our body. So I was confused with the ending because I don't know from that video. I don't.
Yeah, you don't
necessarily
agree that they're
natural beauty for sure. Like there wasn't that option back then. Like I do think that we would embrace natural beauty a little bit more. But from that video, I'm thrown off a little.
But then that begs the question, what is natural beauty, right? Like, do we even know what that is anymore?
Yeah, it's an unspoken thing. It's like being horny or something. You look at somebody and you're attracted to them. It's like, oh, wow. You can look at a girl and know she's hot, like, when she gets out of the pool, when she wakes up in the morning, like there's something
Yeah,
to say.
but she could be completely filled with filler. She could have Botox. She could have...
That's what I mean by natural beauty. Like,
That's
that
not
wasn't
true,
an
though.
option.
But I mean, like, I'll never, that's rude to point out to somebody, but you can tell when somebody is really like, beautiful like that, without the filler, without anything like that. It's the same thing where your human mind, you're able to recognize faces. It's almost the idea of where, like in a dream, you don't see faces that you haven't seen before. Like your brain cannot manufacture a face, right? You have facial recognition. And it's just an unspoken thing. It's like how a dog could sense. It's an extrasensory, almost paranormal kind of sense.
Sean, you're over here nodding. You agree with Patrick?
Yeah, I'm listening. Well, when the video started, I thought we were going to talk about hairstyles. I thought hairstyles was the reason why we look older or different from years ago to now. But now that you're speaking about more of a scientific level, that makes sense. Especially with the tested men being lower, it would affect our jawlines and things of that nature. So it makes sense. The natural beauty comment, I do feel like we're living in a world of like filters. And we're living in a field of like delusion when it comes to beauty. And I think that's social media. that has
Yeah,
tainted our view on beauty. So
Change your perception.
it definitely does. So yeah.
Well, Sean, you
understand.
can probably identify with this. Like, some guys bitch about maybe not even be able to get a date or something like that. But there's also another idea where basically it's like women are still having the same amount of sex, but just with fewer guys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like most guys, like, I'm lucky I get to meet a lot of people doing comedy and things like
Hold
that.
up, I'm gonna let the ladies speak on what you just said.
Fair.
Do you agree with that comment?
Can you say it again?
So essentially, women are kind of still having the same amount of sex, but it's not.
Just with more repeat partners?
No. Basically, there's a fewer percentage of men who are actually having the most sex, as opposed to most men really aren't
Having that
dating
much
or having
sex.
romantic partnerships. You know what I'm saying? That's probably why you're maybe, I don't know if I can say the term on TV, but like, boys, as it were, or some guys kind of like weed up the market. And some guys, they have an idea that nobody can ever find them attractive, It's almost a scarcity mentality as opposed to an abundance mentality.
Well, I think that is a lot because of social media.
Right.
And that's why people are so quick to move on to the next, because they're seeing these amazing Instagram models like, I want a girl like that, I want a guy like that. It's not real life.
Sure.
It's not real life. There's filtered, video filters, things like that. So
But now, I mean, people are getting work done, and not just women. I mean, men are getting Botox. Men are getting the implants in their calves.
to be taller.
Oh yeah,
that.
and
I
then
saw
to
that.
be taller.
Well, that stuff's no way that ages well, man. And when they get out of
I'll be
bed,
scared of
it's
that.
blood,
I'll be scared of
meniscus.
that.
You'd be scared of that. Would you be scared of
the-
anything else?
I feel like whatever makes you happy, do it. As long as it looks good.
Yeah.
I personally probably want to do it, but like I can understand somebody changing themselves to make themselves happier,
Right.
as long as it looks nice.
Well, and also for men though
That's
too,
fine.
like a lot of guys, like I mentioned the testosterone thing earlier. Like some guys get to a point where like you can take testosterone supplements and it will change your whole body looks and how like your moods, your mind, your mood set. Like my friend Brandon Remersky who's been on the show. Like we can't talk about like he's been on TRT. And it kind of changed like his whole outlook on everything. Like your muscle density is bigger, your fat loss, sleep is better. Changes your whole life. And if you're in a sedentary lifestyle, you're in an office all day, you're seeing the same people all the time. How could you not form a low opinion on yourself?
Yeah. So hormones, and then it's the comparison.
It's the lifestyle.
Comparisons.
Comparison is what's killing
Thief
us
of
at
joy.
the end of the day, right?
Comparison is the thief of joy.
It's the thief of joy. All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about a Barbie makeover. So get ready for that one. You stay right there. We'll be right back.
We are Ken enough.
Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been talking about beauty, whether it exists or it doesn't, or comparison is the killer of all joy, with my friends Sean, Paige, and Patrick. I mean, all we do is compare, right? With social media, with that endless scroll. And so apparently women who are younger and younger are starting to go to plastic surgeons and getting all sorts of things done. And there's a doctor in Long Island who is offering the Barbie Makeover. And it's $120,000. Check out this graphic of what he's offering. This is a composite from the New York Post, and it's everything. Neck lipo, breast lift with implants, tummy tuck, BBL with lipo 360, plus teeth whitening and classic blonde hair, and labiaplasty. And
What's the Ken?
oh yeah. And then there's also the Ken for $110,000. For men who want.
I can find you some Mexican supplements for $500. Get you a little bit closer to Ken, but
That's
come
crazy.
on now.
But I mean, I feel like that's what we're driving each other to at the end of the day.
Well,
right?
no,
First of all, he knew that there was a market for that,
Yeah.
so he created that. I mean, that's smart on that guy's behalf. It's not something that I would participate in. Media can play such an evil role.
That's
in
the
everyone's
medical
lives.
industrial complex. You know what I'm saying? Because once if that person spends $110,000 on that package, it's probably a good probability they're going to spend more money on more things because you kind of get lost. Oh, I can just pay for this. Because guess what? Pay $1 million. You probably ain't looking like Margot Robbie, my man. No. You know what I'm saying? It's probably ain't going to happen. And that's fine, but it's basically you're preying on people's insecurities, and it's an easy out.
Right.
And you realize even when you do get that, they'll probably feel kind of empty. That's why you see people kind of get addicted to plastic surgery, all these other things, because they're chasing a dragon they can never catch.
Right.
But how do we get away from it? Because I feel like as a society, we're just getting more and more into it. Like,
No.
is there a way back where we're going to be looking more naturally beautiful, like
Culture ebbs and
the original
flows.
photos from the
Culture
TikTok
ebbs and
we first
flows, in
saw?
my opinion, because you'll see that, and then like the more women who might do that, like men will still find more natural beauty. Like like I'm not a big fan of like BBLs, but I think like enhancements, boob jobs are kind of nice, but it's a different thing because I always thought like a boob job is like it's more of a genetic feature as it were, but a butt you can work on a butt. You know what I'm saying? And that's also my own kind of personal thing, and both are nice. But you can kind of see where, like, you know, you can see where somebody maybe seems a little bit too fake, or like, you can kind of notice a girl has some work done. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but to me, I can kind of tell a difference sometimes. And I usually would prefer a girl who's, you know, giving it what the Lord gave her. Just throwing it out there.
Give him what the Lord gave her.
To go on what you said, how can we go back? It's all about media. What's in the magazines? What are young women seeing growing up? And I think companies like Savage Up Fenty are putting more natural bodies, women that are overweight into their campaigns, and that does help with women's self-image. That would be the only thing I can think of that will reverse what we're doing. But that who's to say when that will happen, if that will ever continue, I don't know.
Well, if you think about it too, exactly like what you said, it's all about trends. So right now, you know, like the Kardashians, I love them, but like they're big lips, you know, tiny waists, big butts, like this. And so in 10 years from now, they're going to still have that work done, but maybe it's going to be more sought after to be more natural, or, you know what I mean, to be less pear-shaped. But people who have already done that, that's what they're going to be.
Well,
Right.
You can look at the transition from even the 90s to now. Like, you know, I mean, the last 20 years, like, kind of big butts kind of a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, before maybe it was like
Things have changed.
the girl with, like, you know, huge breasts and, like, you know, very skinny in the 90s, right? So you kind of see how we kind of look at things now, but most people don't have the resources to get a lot of work done, right? And most people I think people will find that it's an empty kind of thing you're chasing. Because even like, you know, even men, right? I have a couple friends who have done steroids and things like that, right? It's never like they say, like, you're not going to do just one cycle. You're going to keep chasing that same dragon because of how it makes you feel and how it's that same kind of toxic mentality, right? So even with getting work done and all these other things, you have to find a way where you have a baseline, a healthy life, and you have to make sure, like, you know, you like yourself in the mirror. And not like kind of that body dysmorphia, which men and women have, kind of play into how you approach your attractiveness.
So what do you guys find attractive? Patrick, we've heard you. You like breast implants are okay, but a BBL is not, and natural beauty.
That was an example, but it's to just put I think confidence and be comfortability in who you are. We're gonna have a great time.
But appearance-wise.
Appearance-wise.
Oh, appearance-wise? See, that kind of changes. I'm not really like, you know, I just use those as examples. Like my girlfriend now, I think she has a great body, but she's like, oh, my boobs are kind of small. I'm like, I don't think so. They're great. You know what I'm saying? Criminally fat ass, though. Criminally fat ass. That thing is a work of art. But, you know, it always change. I will never be like, oh, this person doesn't have this, I'm not attracted to them. It's how does the whole thing kind of come together, in my opinion.
Appearance for you? Paige?
I think every time on this show I've had a chance to say that height is important to me because I am 5'10", so that is one of the first things that I look for. That's appearance-wise. I don't know that I would like if I fell in love with someone who was 6 foot. I would encourage them to get those whatever they're doing. Then, you know what I mean? Like I'd be like, no, don't do that. Like, yeah, a good smile. Someone who looks like they have an active lifestyle. So not necessarily like super muscly and fit, but healthy in shape.
So if they are less than 6 foot, you are not even looking their way.
On a dating app, I don't swipe right. In person, I do entertain. On a dating app, you have to weed through quicker.
Yeah.
But absolutely, I will talk to.
Short kings are down bad.
Sure they are.
Sean? There's
I
someone for
personally
everyone.
like thicker women.
Thicker women.
I don't really care for the BBL shape thing. I like a natural, thicker woman.
How do you discern?
Discern like who has a BBL or who doesn't.
Yeah.
You can tell.
You can
most of the
tell.
time.
Sometimes you can tell. Now they've got the natural BBL situations going on.
You are right. And I might be looking at women that already have a BBL and don't know. And if they do, well, great. It looks good. I don't know. But I do like a thicker woman. Always have been on the thicker woman's side. That's just me. And as far as the height thing, you are 5'10", so I feel like you shouldn't be dating anybody under 6 foot.
Thank you so much for
You know,
saying
that makes sense to me.
I think you're validating.
I feel like that makes sense. Yeah, I get that.
All right, well, cheers. Thanks for joining me on this conversation.
Cheers.
We actually are going to learn how to make this cocktail, and we also have a performance from Le Pac coming up, okay? So you stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been talking about beauty, baby, and you know what I find beautiful is this cocktail. And I'm behind the bar with my guy Jay Sleep, the people's bartender, and you're here to do what?
Back
that
glass
glass up. Yes. Okay, and you actually made this for the show. That's why
correct.
It's called the Nightcap.
The Nightcap, yes ma'am, yes ma'am.
Okay, I need you to shake it up.
I
What
got
is
you.
in this?
So it's gonna be fresh lemon juice. All right, we're gonna have a fresh passion fruit, grapefruit syrup that I made at home.
Okay.
All right. Then it's gonna have your orange liqueur, and then followed by a citrus-infused vodka.
Ooh.
2 ounces of that. Boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Boom. We're gonna fill it up with ice, a little bit more. We're gonna shake it up.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Get
Wow.
that going. Then we're gonna double strain it, all right?
So I was thinking you didn't shake it enough, but I am seeing the condensation on that tin. Wow.
And
That was
then-
so you made it look so easy.
All right.
All right, so Jay Sleep.
Yes,
People
ma'am.
who want to find you,
Yes,
where do
ma'am.
they find you, boo?
You can most definitely find me on Instagram, Mo Life in Drinks, MOELIFE, the letter N, DRINKS. Or you can also find me at the location in the gallery called Musafa. I'm the R&D beverage director over there. But mainly, you can find me doing my own thing, Measurements of Excellence, a Black Bartender Experience.
That's what the MOE stands for,
Yeah.
Measurements of Excellence.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, so what do
Yeah.
you do?
I'm really known throughout the city for my mobile bartending services. I also known for my personal bottle of drinks. They're ready to drink as you speak. You can crack it open right now if you
Okay,
need
I'm
to.
seeing
I ship them across the country, and then also invite them to be a part of the experience of a private party.
Okay,
ma'am.
and you obviously know what you're doing. I mean, I saw you in the wonderful daiquiri competition. That's how
ma'am.
we met.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
were
I'm
an
still
all-star
heartbroken.
there. I know,
No,
you
it's
didn't
okay, it's
make
okay.
it, but hey, I voted for him,
No, I
okay?
appreciate it. Yeah, yeah.
Spectacular, and then I went to Musafer, saw your work,
Yeah.
and hello.
And this is how this was birthed.
And this is how it was brought.
Yes,
Cheers.
ma'am. Hey,
I love
cheers.
it.
Hey, thank
This
you.
is amazing. You're going to have to come back, okay?
Most definitely. Thank you.
Come on. All right, I hear you're a fan of Le Pat.
I am.
All right, well, he's here in studio ready
Oh,
to
yeah.
perform a medley. All
Gotta
right,
get-
you ready?
yeah,
You
man,
ready?
yeah.
Yeah, get that phone ready. All right, and you stay right there because coming up next, we've got Le Pat performing a medley of his 2 hit songs, Rodeo and Kamikaze. We'll be right back. Tomorrow on the Nightcap, we're talking fubbing. Put down the phone. We'll tell you all about it tomorrow at 11:30 on Fox 26. Welcome back to the Nightcap. It's the moment we've been waiting for. Le Pat is about to perform a medley of his 2 hit singles, right?
Definitely, yeah.
You doing Rodeo and Kamikaze?
Both.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go. Buckle up. Let's go.
Like a rodeo, like a rodeo, baby.
I wanna feel your body on top of mine. Right now, we ain't gonna waste no time, baby. Like a Harley in the wing, as you bring it to your pretty way you ride. Like a rodeo ride, like a love. Let me kiss it, baby. Tell me when you really, really miss me, baby. Sex is a sport and you can pitch it, baby. Gotta take my time when I'm in it, baby. Foreplay only if you with it, baby. She can join in since I kissing, baby. My sex drive at all time high, beat it up, but I promise I won't kill it, baby. Will, girl, just tell me how you want it. I got good stamina, mommy. You like to stretch on my back, but tonight you're on top of this pony. Breathing hard, you got me sweating. I'm trying to eat you for breakfast, eat you for lunch and dinner if you let me. I'm trying to give you what you really miss, yeah. I wanna feel your body on top of mine. Right now, we ain't gonna waste no time, baby. Like a Harley in the wind, got you bring it to your friends the way you ride. Like a rodeo ride, like a rodeo, babe.
Just get started,
Look, hands on her, she do a dance. She like to party and jump hard to do your thing. Look, she go both ways, she ain't ashamed. When the song come on, she throw that. Hands on her head, she do a dance. She like to party and jump hard to do your thing. She go both ways, she ain't ashamed. When the song come on, love, yeah. Throw that for me, mommy. I'm a gentleman with a gentle plan. Please stop them bands for me, mommy. Since you love to dance and I love you dance, show me how you ride it, little mommy. You a kamikaze, little mommy. Say you the life of the party.
Yes! Let's go. Let's go. That's Le Pat.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've heard Rodeo, which, come on. when he says he's gonna eat breakfast, lunch, you know, that was already the move. But kamikaze,
Definitely.
I feel like the kamikaze ends up in the rodeo,
Yeah, 'cause
right?
you gotta put your hands on your head.
Listen, you gotta come back, and maybe I'll be a backup dancer, just not a backup
Okay.
singer. All right, so
Okay,
for
that's
people
fine.
who wanna know about LePat, haven't heard of you before, where can they find you? What are
You
you
can find me
about?
on all socials @_LAHPAT. You can just Google me. I'm all over right now.
Okay, yeah, he's all over. He's all over. If you don't know about him, finally you learned about him on the nightcap, but you should have been knowing. Okay, so what do you got cooking up next?
I'm working on my project right now. Definitely got that coming. I just dropped my video to Kamikaze, going crazy already.
Okay.
So definitely, and I'm just working. I'm in town. I'm all around. Meet me in your city, just hit me. So
Just hit him.
We
All
outside.
right, but I need you back on the nightcap once the project's done.
Anytime you call, I'm coming.
Perfect. All right, well, thank y'all all so much for coming. Fantastic performance. You at home, listen, if you want to go get the Barbie makeover, go ahead. In your face, just make sure your face looks good. Whatever you do, put on some makeup. It is what it is. And throw on some LePat. All right, cheers to you. We'll see you guys next time. Hey.